Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen, and if you are new here, I make art, design, DIY, and lifestyle videos. And in today's video, I will be doing some Halloween related baking and crochet projects. Well, let's get into the video. In my decorating for Halloween video, I mentioned that I wanted to decorate my porch, but a groundhog ate our pumpkins last year. Well, Steven and I decided to buy pumpkins anyway. He actually seemed pretty excited about going to pick them out, so it was a fun little trip to the grocery store. Our neighborhood has a Halloween hayride every year, so we were luckily able to decorate our house right before the event. Steven had an event at work, so he made chocolate chip sourdough bread, and it turned out great. Once he was out of the kitchen, I got to work on making some cookies. I decided to make raspberry thumbprint cookies. These are easy to make and one of my favorites for when guests visit. Once the dough has chilled, it will be easier to work with. Roll the dough into inch spheres using powdered sugar, then lay them out on a cookie sheet with parchment paper. To make the thumbprints, I use my thumb, or if you want a more symmetrical cookie, use the cap of an extract bottle. Add your jam of choice, and then bake for 9 to 11 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I'd like to note that the recipe calls for strawberry jam, but you can use any kind you want. I like to use seedless raspberry jam. Pro tip, when baking cookies, always use parchment paper, not wax paper. Never wax paper, ever. It will melt in the oven. Next, I got started on my gingerbread dough. I haven't shared the whole process here because I actually made a video a while back on how to make this same recipe. Also, this time around, things didn't really go to plan. I didn't have enough molasses, so I modified the recipe, and the cookies tasted more like a ginger biscuit or a ginger snap than actual gingerbread cookies. I was going to frost all of these Halloween-shaped cookies with royal icing, but because they taste like ginger biscuits, I decided to leave them unfrosted and save them to pair with tea or coffee. Welcome to my living room. I am finishing up a couple of Halloween projects. I have 3 crochet-related Halloween projects in the works currently, and I'm hoping to finish them by the end of this video because I need the hat that I am making for tomorrow, and I just want to finish this one, which is a Wednesday-inspired spiderweb collar. So basically, with this collar, I used a free pattern, and I can't remember the name of the creator who made this, but I will link their I will link the free pattern in the description below. It was actually really easy to follow, and I know that she also has a video tutorial on YouTube. Interestingly enough, I didn't use the video tutorial, I read the pattern. I'm getting pretty good at reading patterns. I'm excited. The one thing I am changing about this is her original pattern has these little ties so that you can close this, because it's worn like, you know, like this, and then you tie it. I don't really love the look of ties, so I'm going to add a couple of tiny little hooks to the inside so I can just hook this shut. That way I can add maybe an antique brooch or a pin to the center here without strings just hanging down. I used a tiny hook and eye closure for the collar. It's basically the same kind of hook that is used in the backs of bras and corsets. It looks so good. I'm so happy with how this collar turned out. And I don't normally wear Peter Pan collars, but I like insects and spiders, and this has kind of that slightly spooky vibe as well as just the spider web pattern. And it reminds me of Wednesday Addams. Would she wear this? Possibly. In the new series, she did have a crochet collar, which I do want to try and recreate at some point. Not sure when that'll be, but maybe soon. I also am really happy with the styling of this. I am glad that I opted for a tiny hook on the inside to close it shut instead of the ties that hang down. And I've incorporated this small silver pin that I thrifted recently for I think $3. It reminds me of the Victorian era, but so does the collar, so I feel like they kind of fit each other really well. The one thing I would change is the top. This is my husband's black dress shirt. I actually own a black dress shirt that's collared that would work with this collar here, but I think it's in storage. I'm not 100% sure where, so until I find it, this was my only option. I would just like to reassure all of you that I would not style this collar with this top. It doesn't look good, but I wanted to wear the collar, so I put it on. Onward to the next project. I am finishing up my Crochet Witch Hat. I didn't really have a costume plan for this year, but my neighborhood, I think, has trick-or-treaters. I wasn't here last Halloween. I was actually flying into Delhi, India that day. So I don't really know if my neighborhood has trick-or-treaters, and the weird thing is I don't even know what I was doing on Halloween 2 years ago. Maybe I just wasn't here. This year, I am making a witch hat. I actually already started crocheting this witch hat a long time ago, and this is what it looks like right now. And this part here, right, it's supposed to be curly. I kept seeing these hats on Pinterest. Gosh dang it. So I gotta add some wire to this part to make it like curly. But I am adding this kind of cool texture to the outside of the hat. It just felt like it needed something. So I've been working on doing that, and it's going to circle all the way around the hat. Do you guys ever just start multiple projects in 1 week, thinking you can get them done by a specific deadline that you set in your own mind? And then that deadline comes and you're like, do I really want to try? I do that a lot. It is currently 2 in the morning on Halloween, and I've been crocheting since yesterday. But my witch's hat is almost finished. Look at it! Look at that texture. And I got the curl almost done, but I've got to add some wire. Look at my mug. Look at its little legs. It's so cute. The last step for finishing my hat was to add the wire, which turned out to be more difficult than I was expecting. I ended up finally finding a way to string it by running it through the top of the hat. If I make another one of these in the future, I'll want to get a wire that's a little heavier than what I used. It worked, but it wasn't great. I'm so happy with how this hat turned out. It looks so good. It is almost 7 o'clock on Halloween night, and I have not seen or heard a single trick-or-treater, so I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do with all of this candy. It smells like my childhood of trick-or-treating. I definitely can't eat all of this, so Maybe I could donate it or something. Anyway, it was a good, super chill Halloween, which is not something I've had in a while. I actually realized what I was doing 2 years ago for Halloween. I went to a Halloween party, and my husband and I dressed as these De los Muertos skeletons, which that was honestly one of the coolest costumes I've done. His mom helped paint our faces. It was a fun time. But I definitely was not here, so I wouldn't know if there were any trick-or-treaters. And last year, as I said before, I was flying into Delhi, India, so definitely was not here. But anyway, I know that this vlog is a little bit late, seeing as Halloween has already passed, but I really wanted to share a couple more projects because these were just really fun to make. And I know that I didn't really use a pattern for this, so I will share a link to a free pattern and or tutorial in the description below, maybe both. I will also share a link to the free collar pattern as well if you want to check that out. And I will also share the recipes that I used for the baked goods. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button because I do my best to upload regularly. Let me know what kind of projects or content you might like to see next. I haven't done a thrift with me in a while, so there might be 1 or 2 of those coming your way, as well as some travel videos, which I have also not done in a long time. But I took a trip to Alaska recently, and my oh my, the scenery was absolutely amazing. Thanks again for watching, happy Halloween, and until the next one, I am out. Bye!